The warp tore open in a violent, screaming vortex of raw chaos. From the rift came a single figure, armor scarred by 1,000 battles, visor glowing like molten rage. The Doomslayer crashed onto the ash-covered surface of a chaos-infested planet. The moment his boots hit the ground, the planet trembled. Demons felt him, and they feared. The first creatures to face him were Nurglings and Plague-bearers, crawling from ruptured flesh pits. They swarmed, believing him to be just another mortal. But the Slayer charged forward without hesitation. His fist shattered the skull of a Plague-bearer. He ripped a great unclean one's tongue out, fired straight into its open maw, and blasted the demon apart in a burst of rotting filth. Across the planet, Chaos Sorcerers panicked. They recognized the energy signature. Not a Space Marine, not a Primaris, not even the Custodes. Something far older. Something that devoured demons for sport. The Doomslayer moved like a killing storm, systematically tearing apart every demon nest in a growing radius of destruction. Word of him reached the Imperium quickly. Imperial Guards scouting teams detected impossible readings, one man annihilating entire demon battalions. When a squad of Astra Militarum confronted him, they found the battlefield soaked in demon blood. They pointed their weapons at him, terrified. But the Slayer simply walked past them. His mission was singular: hunt the next evil and destroy it. When the Adeptus Mechanicus intercepted the reports, they declared him a potential living weapon. A skittery cohort attempted to capture him for study. They never stood a chance. Bolter rounds ricocheted off his armor. Electro-priests struck him with arcs of motive force. Lightning, the Slayer grabbed one by the skull and slammed him into the ground so hard the metal dunes shook. The Mechanicus retreated, labeling him unmeasurable threat pattern, Omega. Meanwhile, demons across the warp howled. A being capable of permanently killing them body and soul was now tearing through the Materium. Khorne took notice first. A Bloodthirster manifested in a tower of flame, its massive wings spreading across the sky. The creature bellowed, announcing its challenge. The Doomslayer didn't wait. He charged. The Bloodthirster swung its chain axe down with enough force to split a tank in half. The Slayer caught the handle mid-strike. Bones cracked. Muscles screamed. But he held it. With a roar of fury, he ripped the axe from the demon's grip and buried it into the demon's chest. The Bloodthirster collapsed, roaring in disbelief as the Slayer tore out its heart. When the Grey Knights heard of this, they were divided. On one hand, the Doomslayer killed demons with an efficiency surpassing even the Emperor's chosen. On the other, he was an unbound, uncontrollable force, possibly a warp anomaly. A strike force teleported onto the planet. Silver armor shining, nemesis blades ready. But as they approached, they found only silence and the remains of demons scattered for miles. The Night Brother leading the force whispered, "He hunts the same enemy, but he is not of us." They withdrew, choosing not to provoke the unstoppable. The Inquisition, however, did not hesitate. They declared him a potential chaos construct and ordered extermination. An entire inquisitorial kill team attempted an ambush. Orbital fire rained from the sky. Psychers unleashed mind-breaking attacks. But the Slayer was immune to fear, corruption, and psychic influence. He broke through their barricades, shattering ceramite armor and silencing their attacks with brutal efficiency. The Inquisitor in charge watched from orbit as her entire strike force was wiped out in minutes. She whispered the only words appropriate: monster. But whose monster? Eventually, the warp reacted. The Chaos Gods recognized the threat. They united. Furious, desperate, they unleashed a massive incursion. Demons of all four gods poured into real space at once: Slaanesh fiends, Tzeentch sorceress constructs, Nurgle's filth beasts, and Khorne's death legions. An entire planet became a battlefield of screaming hell. The Doomslayer stood alone in the center of the warp storm. Cracking his knuckles, he felt no fear, only purpose. Demons rushed him from every direction. He fought like a divine weapon forged in rage. He ripped wings from Lords of Change, shattered Keeper of Secrets with bare fists, crushed demon engines like metal toys. Every kill made the warp flicker in instability. The Chaos Gods screamed in anger as the fabric of their power weakened with every demon slain. Finally, the warp began to collapse. The Chaos Gods attempted to tear him back into the dimensional prison they created for him millennia ago, but the Slayer refused. With one final surge of impossible strength, he tore apart the warp anchors, shattered the rift, and unleashed a shockwave that banished every demon on the planet instantly. Silence fell. Warhammer Galaxy had never seen anything like it. One man had purged the demon world without armies, fleets, or the Emperor's light. only raw hatred for evil. Imperial Astropaths reported a final psychic echo lingering in the void. He does not serve. He does not kneel. He only slays. The Doomslayer walked into the darkness of space, ready to bring the eternal war directly to the enemies of humanity whether the Imperium approved or not.